Jingle bells, chemy smells, Hotarou laid an egg. Talking smack to those chemies and Hotarou will catch a fit. Hey! And welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Gacha, episode 38. It's here, everybody. The debut of Rainbow Gacha, the final form. And I have to say, it looks 10 times better on screen. It looks okay, but I prefer Platinum over Rainbow because, I don't know, just Platinum itself just screams final form for me. But in any case, the suit looks good, it's decent, and it's passable. Why not? And it has a nice little tribute to Kamen Rider Build, which I will mention once I hit, the scene. And so let us begin with, what happened. Hotarou, instead of laying an egg, he turned himself into an egg. And everybody was shocked, other than, witnessing this poor kid just screaming in pain, seeing that his partner in crime is dead, and instead of turning into a malgam, which was the hopes of the king, he just turned into an egg and disappears. And as the egg disappears, the king and the sisters disappears along with it, and it leaves poor the Alliance, mind you. They're all shocked, confused, they've been hit hard because they are suffering from the loss of Hopper 1, and then seeing this poor kid, this is something that you never thought that Hotarou will be like this before. And it just leaves them in disbelief, shock and disbelief. So we go to the school, and according to Professor Kyoka, the reason why Hotarou got turned into an egg is due to the powers of the 101 chemy, which leads to Minato Sensei and telling everybody that, yeah, it's the works of the 101 chemy, and supposedly it's been inside the driver the whole time, and it's due to Fuga planting it in there, which I paused the show because I was like, wait a minute. Why did Minato Sensei said that Fuga planted the egg inside of the driver when we seen scenes of the Abyssalis King using, X-ray vision and just looking through inside Hotarou's body, and lo and behold, there's an egg inside of him. And then when he attacked Hotarou, when he punctured through Hotarou's body trying to steal the egg from him, why is he pushing through his body when supposedly the egg should be inside the driver the whole time? It doesn't make any sense to me. Either the writers was like let's change it quickly and hopefully the audience won't notice, or maybe it's the fault of the directors. I don't know. But I'm like, which is it? Is it inside of Hotarou's body or inside the driver? I don't know. Guys, am I going crazy here? But either way, the fault belongs to the creative team. So once Minato Sensei says that, the 101 chemy is behind all of this, its mission right now is to look for the egg and protect it from the king, while at the same time trying to get Hotarou back. All the while, you see poor Kudo, not with her friends, just sitting there outside of the classroom and just hugging the corpse of Hopper 1, and she is crying her eyes out because she is blaming herself for introducing the fairy tale amongst her friends. And I'm like, Kudo, it's not your fault. Why are you blaming yourself? Stop it. like, it's not your fault. Why are you blaming yourself? It doesn't make any sense to me. And so as Kuro is crying her eyes out, we go back to Hotarou inside the egg. Only this time, he's inside the egg, not laying an egg like my jingle suggested that he is. He is, crying his eyes out for killing Hopper 1. He is sorry. And then all of a sudden he starts to hear voices, and he turns around and looks at this blue and orange egg. And we move on from there to Mama-san, because she got done finishing her phone call and she notices the rain. It's due to the cause of, Hotarou being in pain, turning himself into an egg, and, it's the cause of Hotarou's pain. And so she notices the rain, and she looks at the umbrella, and she's thinking about her son, hoping that he is okay out there because it's raining. And we move back to the egg, and the talking egg is telling Hotarou that you're inside the egg, no one's gonna harm you, you're safe. And it also tells Hotarou that I have no name, and I have been inside the driver this whole time. And Hotarou says, wait a minute, was that you who protected me against, Arc 1? And the egg was like, yeah, that was me. And so we move on from that, and says, before I move on, the egg also says that, hey, you're safe here and you can stay. So the talking egg is telling Hotarou to stay. I wonder why. So we move on from the talking egg to Spanner, and he is looking for the Hotarou egg, but instead of finding the egg, he finds the king, and the king is telling Spanner this new secret or revelation that apparently what Spanner has, the black flame that he uses, the king also uses, and he claims that it's inherent from him, and tells Spanner to come in and join him. And of course, Spanner, typical Spanner, was like, what a ridiculous joke. So he just attacks the king. And during the fight, you see Minato Sensei and Sabi just sneak past those two and goes directly to the egg. And Sabi does, this analysis, whatever, so he could send it to Kyoka. Mind you, it's raining out there, so I feel for the actors, because I'm sure that they were like, by the end of that scene, they were all soaking wet and cold. Like, damn. Like, I wouldn't be able to stand on set raining and really concentrate on the scene while it's pouring on me. I'll be like, I don't know, how can I do this with this icy rainwater? But kudos to them for sticking it out. So during the fight, you see Spanner and the king continue fighting, and the king was like telling Spanner, like, I know why you're this way, you're just afraid of your true potential. And Spanner's like, I'm not gonna join you, like, you don't know anything about me. And this is where the king decides to demonstrate the true power of the black flame, and captures 5 random chemy cards and fuse them together to create an all-powerful malgam. And Spanner is in trouble at this point. Yep. And we go back inside the egg, and you see, like, scenes from past episodes of Hotarou's accomplishments, his fights, his captures of the chemies, everything. And the talking egg is telling Hotaru why, like, you did well on your journey, so why not just rest and just stop, just stay here, stay here with me. And I will give Hotaru credit when it's due, and this is one of those days. Hotaru was like, I can't stay here, I need to fight the king, he's still out there, I can't just live here. And it makes sense. And this is where, after the egg was okay, let me say this without laughing, but I'm gonna laugh because the talking egg was telling Hotaru, like, why do you want to continue on with this fight when you're nothing more than an average high schooler who has no talent when it comes to alchemy whatsoever? And I'm like, I paused it. I was laughing because, oh my God, it's just like, damn, that was just like a almost like it's so blunt. Like, I felt it in my heart because, damn, like, Hotaru was like he didn't have this reaction where, like, huh, like, damn, like, that hurts, like, but he just kind of like, well, yeah. Yeah, I may be average and I may have no talent when it comes to alchemy. But Jesus, that must have hurt Hotaru. But I didn't even seeing Hotaru be like, oh. But I paused it and I was just bursting out laughing, and it just took me back when the Expector turned heel and was telling Hotaru, like, you don't know even the basics of alchemy, which I can't direct the fault towards Hotaru. Mostly the fault goes to the teacher, Minato Sensei. That's why I keep on like punching Minato Sensei as a character, because he's a lousy teacher, and you have a heel turn of Expector to a talking egg telling your student that you suck in alchemy. And, like, what does that tell? Like, it tells Minato Sensei to me that he really does suck as a teacher. He's really sucks. But I mean, damn, it took like a talking egg to really just like, you're average and you are no good in alchemy, and yet you're given this driver, the powers of a Kamen Rider and all of that. I'm like, damn. It's a talking egg. So it's like, so he continues on after that, like, why do you continue to fight, especially when you will get hurt in the end? Why fight? So we go outside from the egg to back to the alchemy school, and Kyoka is getting the readings from Sabi, and unfortunately she gives Sabi and Minato Sensei some bad news. Like, she can't get any data from the egg because apparently the egg is using magic to prevent any readings whatsoever. And then we go back to crying Kudo, still hugging the corpse of Hopper 1, and she is losing hope, and she assumes that, like, Hotaru doesn't want to come back, according to her. But then here comes Renge, of all people, and just giving Kudo the riot act. Like, she was giving the tough love. And she went down and saying, like, get a hold of yourself. Like, you're a Kamen Rider. Why are you like this? You shouldn't be like this. Like, I admire you. I respect you for being who you are. Like, you grew up from this girl who is always, like, follow people's rules to someone who follows her own beliefs, her own rules. You're not this girl that I admire right now. I look stupid now because look at you. And I'm surprised that Renge didn't slap her across the face. But she couldn't because she was up and Kudo was down, and there's no way she could just slap her and and just make her wake up. Like, she cannot be depressed right now because Spanner needs her. Hotarou needs her. People need her. And yet she's just sitting there blaming herself for something that she's not responsible for. But, she looks at Renge and just stares at her. And then we get into the next scene with Spanner almost getting another L. Because, again, guys, I know I'm repeating myself. I know I'm a broken record. But ever since Spanner became a Kamen Rider, how many victories did this guy get up to this point? Not too many. And he was about to get another loss. Like, damn, Spanner. And I heard that supposedly Kudo and Spanner is going to get new forms. I'm like, I hope this turns around for Spanner because, my God, like, Spanner, as much as people claim that you are a prodigy, you suck when it comes to fighting. That's all I'm going to say because so many L's. But anyways, this malgam was about to give Spanner another L. Here comes Kudo in her rider form protecting Spanner. And Spanner was like, you're late. You're late. And so it became a 2-on-2 match. And she goes after the king while Spanner continues on fighting with the malgam. And Kudo's like, we're not going to give up. We will defeat you, you 120 age monster, whatever. Which ticked off the king so much that he used his magic to teleport everybody from point A to point B, which is the parking lot, which leaves the king and the egg all by himself. So as he was about to, make scrambled eggs, you see, the alliance just like, where the hell are we? Oh, we're in the parking lot. And then you see Spanner and Kudo fighting the malgam. So we go back to, the king trying to get scrambled eggs to inside the egg, where Hotarou was like, whoa, what's that rumble? And, the talking egg was like, no, don't worry about it. You're safe. It's protected. There's no way. It's unsinkable. It's impenetrable. So it's cool. You're safe. Don't worry about it. And so we get more information about the talking egg. And here I thought that the egg was testing Hotarou and be like, okay, is this kid worthy of me? Can I trust him with my power? It wasn't the case at all. It's more of, we get this revealed that the egg refuses to hatch. It doesn't want to be born because it's afraid of the outside world. It's afraid of becoming a malgam. It's afraid that life is going to trample all over it. It's afraid of life itself. And then all of a sudden, Hotarou's stomach started to rumble, so he's hungry. And, the talking egg was suggesting, hey, stay here with me. Who cares about what's happening on the outside? You be here playing with me and you're safe. And I'm like, okay, so how is he going to go to the bathroom? How is he going to sleep? How is he going to eat? All these important questions starts popping up inside the head and be like, okay, how am I going to go continue on live with, while I'm inside this egg? But then due to the power of the egg, we get inside, Hotarou's restaurant, and you see Mama-san, and she is cooking up a Japanese omelet. and she serves the omelet to Hotarou, and she disappears. And Hotarou takes a bite out of it and eats it for a little bit, and you see the magic egg just looking at the food as Hotarou was eating it. And this is where we get Airhead Hotarou moment here, because as the egg was staring at the food, even though the egg itself doesn't have any eyes, Hotarou was like, "Do you want to try it?" And I'm like, "Hotarou, it's an egg. It doesn't have a mouth. It doesn't have teeth." And even the talking egg was like, "Dude, I'm an egg. I don't eat. What the hell are you thinking?" But yet, then again, this kid didn't even know what a Kamen Rider was until Kuro was like knocking sense into him. Like, "Dude, like, you've been a writer for how many episodes, and you have the nerve to ask, like, what is a Kamen Rider?" And it's the same thing here. Like, you're asking an egg to say, "Hey, do you want to try this?" I'm like, it doesn't have teeth. So typical, it's like an Airhead Hotarou moment, but it doesn't matter to Hotarou if the egg has teeth or not, because he decides to go in the back and starts cooking for the egg. So he is cooking, and we get this scene with Hotarou saying, like, "Look, I can't stay here. My friends needs me. I have this dream I want to accomplish. I want to create a brand new alchemy to bring back the chemies that I have lost." And you see, the golden flower again, because you see it twice inside the egg. This time it's in the kitchen, and Hotarou pulls a Forrest Gump, where, remember, Forrest Gump was doing this iconic line where he says, "Life is like a box of chocolates." In this case, Hotarou compares life like a Japanese omelet. Only this time it's like, we're going to have people inside of the omelet, and we're going to have chemies inside. And once you eat that omelet, it's going to be delicious and that sort of thing. And then once Hotarou was finished cooking, the omelet looks awful. The omelet itself, instead of being yellow, it's blue. So it's a tribute to, Gacha's first form, and it just looks terrible. It looks nasty. Like something was wrong with the egg he was cooking, because it's just all blue. And it's called the Gacha omelet, or the Oma rice. And the egg eats it, even though it doesn't have any teeth. So it eats it, and it says it's okay, it's delicious. And you can feel that the magic egg. Oh, and before that, Hotarou named the egg to he named the egg Tamagon. And the egg was like, "Is it because I'm an egg that you had to name me that?" I'm telling you, there's a lot of eggs in this show, in this episode. Egg references and egg puns. So you can sense Tamagon is having a little bit of a change of heart after that speech from Hotarou, of him wanting to come back. He has goals, he has dreams, and just talking about life itself. And then Hotarou does something with his battery ring of power and transport both somewhere. But before that, because I know I keep getting ahead of myself here, that Tamago is persuading Hotarou to stay inside this egg because it's safe, that he will never get hurt again, that sort of thing. But Hotarou turned the tables on itself and says to Tamagon, like, hey, do you want to come with me? We can leave this egg together. Which, causes Tamagon to really think about it. And you could see it, you can sense it, that it's changing its mind until Hotarou does this thing with his ring of power, takes them both to this, this sea. And then Hotarou was standing in this sea, whatever, and you see him with the driver, and he does the I got a gotcha speech, and it does, and with that speech, Tamagon really was like, you know what? I'm afraid about life, but you know what? You encouraged me to take that step, so why not? Let's go. Let's get out of here together. And so they did. So as the king was trying to break the egg hatches, but instead of Hotarou coming out from the egg, a rainbow hatches from the egg. It just launches to the sky. It breaks the storm, and it teleports itself to the place where Spanner and Kudo were, but not inside the parking lot, because the malgam's power was too much for those two riders, that it just pushes them from the parking lot to this area in the Toei studios. And the malgam was about to kill him, but luckily the rainbow landed between the heroes and the malgam, and lo and behold, it's Hotarou with his uniform on, holding Tamagon. And everybody was surprised. They're happy to see Hotarou. And, and Spanner was like, you're late, you bastard. And I don't have time to hear your whatever it is you're going to say. And Hotarou's like, sorry, I'm late, guys. I'm sorry. And you see the egg hatch, and Tamagon became Nijigon. So Nijigon is a dragon type chemy, and it can talk. And then he spots the malgam, and he says the most cringiest of lines. But then again, this is Hotarou we're talking about. So as he spots this malgam, he says, the chemies are suffering. And then he turns to Nejigon and asks, like, are you ready? And the dragon says, yeah, I'm ready. And so we get to see the debut of Rainbow Gacha, which, by the way, it has a nice little tribute to Kamen Rider Build, because as Hotarou was doing the transformation, you hear, are you ready? Something that, Kamen Rider Build has on pretty much every one of its drivers. It says, are you ready? And then you hear Beverly, who she was the singer for the main song for Build. So it has a nice tribute to Build. So I thought it was cool. And we get to see the rainbow form. And like I said earlier, it looks decent. It looks nice. And we get to see everybody's reaction. Spanner was like not smiling, but typical Spanner. But everybody was in shock and smiling like, hey, Treasure Boy has a new form and he's going to kick ass, which he does. So we get to see, Rainbow Gacha and his fighting style, its powers, and the malgam didn't stand a chance. And with a rainbow finish, Hotarou saves the 5 chemies, captures them, and does the typical, hi chemies, can you be my friend type of thing, cringy as ever. And everybody from the Alliance starts to huddle around Hotarou. They're happy that he's back. And then all of a sudden you hear hoppa, hoppa, and then Hotarou looks, and lo and behold, there's Hopper 1 alive. And how, you may ask? Well, it's due to the power of Rainbow Gacha and its energies that affected the dead chemies and brought them back to life. And we get this moment where, remember, Hotarou was running towards heel Minato Sensei, and he just runs towards Minato Sensei and got into trouble. But this time it's different because it's Hopper 1. There's no traps, no anything like that. It's just this cool moment where you have Hotarou with arms open and running towards Hopper 1, and you have this Hopper 1, Oppa! Hopper 1, Oppa! You know, that moment, and you see them both, hugging. Of course, Hotarou was doing most of the hugging, and it's just squeezing Hopper 1 and like, I will never lose you again. You're my partner in crime. You're my treasure. You're my best friend. I will never let you go. And hoppa, hoppa, And you see the golden flower on the back, and thanking Hopper 1 for for the treasures and all that good stuff. And it's a typical happy ending. And of course, you have Professor Kyoka coming from the back, holding the 2 chemy cards that were presumably dead. They're back to life. And everybody is pretty much happy for the most part, except for Spanner, because Spanner hardly ever smiles. And as the kids were happy, crying, and just seeing this happy ending, experiencing this happy ending and the rainbows and all that good stuff, you see Kyoka and Minato Sensei. And Kyoka was like, this kid is really something. I believe that he is going to change the ways of alchemy for the better. And Minato Sensei agrees and says, like, yeah, I think this kid will achieve his dream. It's our job as teachers to help him achieve that dream of his. And that's a teacher's way, and it's good to say, because it's a teacher and you want to help your students, find their path, and why not? So it's a good line. And that's the end. That's the end of the episode, guys. So it's a good episode, regardless of the confusion of the placement of the egg, because it gave out a good lesson, something that people need to learn about life. Yes, life can be scary, but at the same time, life can be good. And you cannot be afraid, because the egg, wants to be safe. It doesn't want to be trampled. He doesn't want to become a malgam, which is understandable. But at the same time, especially having Hotarou with it, it's like you're not living life. And what are you going to do? Just live inside the egg and just eat illusion food and sleep and go in the bathroom? It's just like, that's not life. What's the point of living if you're trapped inside an egg? And Hotarou said it best, I can't stay here. I need to live out my life. I still have to graduate from high school. I still have to capture more chemies. The king is still out there. I can't just stop. I can't just walk away from this. My friends needs me. And to help the egg to really realize that, hey, look, life can be beautiful out there. And I will protect you, you protect me, that sort of thing. It's just, life can either be beautiful and can be ugly, but that's life. And it got the courage that it needed and became a mini dragon and became the final form of Gacha. And that's a powerful lesson about life. And that's great, That's something that kids need to learn. That's something that we as adults need to relearn, you could say, because as we go older, we have responsibilities as a kid, the only responsibility you have really is just to go to school and finish your homework and play video games. But as you go older, it's like you have to like go find a job and pay bills and just be an adult. And it's stressful, but like I said earlier, life can be ugly, but at the same time it can be beautiful. And that's a good lesson to learn. The debut of Rainbow Gacha, it's great. A nice little tribute to Build, and I like Build. And yeah, I think that is it, guys. Give me your thoughts and opinions about this episode. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Did I miss anything? What's your thoughts and opinions of Gacha's final form? And also, give me your thoughts about what went wrong with the egg placement, because, again, we saw it inside of Hotarou, but then in this episode, well, I've been inside the driver the whole time. Like, okay, it's weird. But give me your thoughts on that. And also, before I go, where the hell is Fuga? And who the hell is Hotarou's father? Where is he at? Alright, guys. Give me your thoughts and opinions about the episode and the suit and everything else that I have just mentioned. Give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And I'll see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!